Hello and welcome to Talking Hearthstone, the podcast where, well, we talk about Hearthstone. I'm Tito Santana, and this is episode 14. So last week, I probably should have said I was taking off. I kind of thought that I was going to, and I tried to figure out a way to squeeze in recording this. It actually is more work than you would think it would be, given that it's only a short podcast without any logistics of other people. But it does take time and effort to kind of put things together, figure out what I'm talking about, figure out how I'm going to show things. If I'm going to do a game, we won't be doing a gameplay this week. I'm just going to try to keep it. We'll talk about the mini set in a little bit. But mostly, I spent last week hanging out with my son. It was the last week of summer. He's only 10 once. We did a lot of Pokemon Go. We did a few, other things and just kind of enjoyed the last week of summer. And anytime I had the opportunity to potentially record or try to record something, it wasn't convenient in the house. There was too much noise. I typically try to record when people are either asleep or not home to avoid traffic and whatnot. So I should have just said I wasn't going to record last week, but I wanted to and I tried, but here we are. So now it's the beginning of the month. I finished around, I think, did we talk about that already? I think I finished around like 3,800 or 4,200, something like that. I haven't double checked Donkey Site to where I finished up, but we didn't finish in 11 stars, which is fine. I'm not looking to just get 11 stars every month until I've earned my place at 11 stars. I want to be an 11-star player where it doesn't really matter. I just play and I'm usually there. I want to be like around Mexico, maybe not quite as good because I'm not quite as good as Hearthstone, but closer to that where I just play and that's where I'm at. So we'll continue to make an effort. We'll continue to improve. I hope, and that's the goal. But also, given that last week was the last week of it's not the last week of summer, but effectively it's the last week of summer, right? When kids go back to school, summer is basically over. I haven't had a lot of time to play Hearthstone. I still have played a lot of Hearthstone, but not a lot of Hearthstone for me. So right now, I think I'm about D4. I might have dropped back down to D5. I played some weird stuff. I played some Sandwich Hunter that World 8 gave me. I played some Pain Priest. I played a couple different versions of Pain DH. We've been feeling the pain. Oddly enough, not Pain Lock. I've also then decided to go back to Excavate Paladin because Excavate Paladin is what I like to play right now, and I'm at the point now where I need to just kind of get serious up and finish climbing. So I think we're going to do that. We had some matches the last couple weeks. Me and Pallet won our duos match last week. I lost my Coin Concede Listener Series match against Torby yesterday. Good wins by him. He ruled me. He absolutely ruled me. I didn't try bringing serious decks because I wasn't in the running for anything. So I did bring the Rye Cleaver Hunter, and he just played he played not Overheal Priest. He played Zarimi Priest and kind of rolled me, and then he played something else. So that is what it is. I have a THL match on Friday. I think it's the last week. It might not be. It might be the week after this, unless we make the playoffs. And then I have duos match on Saturday. So it's fun. I'm kind of looking forward. As much as I like doing the competitive thing, when I have 3 matches in a week, it really kind of disrupts any kind of flow as far as just kind of ladder grinding. And that's probably good on some levels, but on other levels, I don't love it. So I don't want to quit any of my leagues. Like I like Coin Concede. It's really short. It's fun. I would like to win it at some point. I believe I can. I just haven't shown it yet. But the competition in there is really tough. I don't mean that I want to. I don't think I should be able to win it. I just mean that I'd like to think that I have the ability to. And then THL, my pro league, I really like. The duos league is super fun. I'm enjoying doing that. I thought about picking up other leagues in there, but I think I've finished. I think I have my maximum capacity, especially with everything else that goes on. Kid has taekwondo and whatnot. So right now I'm trying to find my routine. The kid's back at school. I've said that 16 times now, but it means that now I have kind of in the summer, things don't tend to be as scheduled, especially being unemployed as I am right now. It's been I don't. The last time I was unemployed for at all, but for this long, was back in 2002, 2002 to 2003. For a good portion of that, I was unemployed. So that was the last time. That was you. Some of you may not have been born then. So I'm used to having a job, used to doing, the 9 to 5 grind or whatnot. But now that I don't have that, the summer's been kind of disjointed. I'm still trying to find a job. I'm still trying to do content. I've kind of faded a little bit on making content. Not that I don't have plans, not that I don't have things in the hopper. I was planning on this. I had a whole plan mapped out for Tuesday. Hey, we're gonna do this, this, and this, and this. And then I realized I was so tired that I said, you know what? We're gonna take this week and we're kind of gonna ease into what we're gonna try to do. So that Tuesday I took a nap. I was tired. I got the kid off to school. I came back and I slept for 3 hours, and it was exactly what I needed. Yesterday did some editing of bread and butter. The microphone was all messed up. My microphone. I don't know why my setup is giving me feedback, and it might be because it's too close to my monitor or my computer. So I can try that, but I also, it's not that big of a deal to use the USB setup, and I shouldn't run into that issue. So editing that was tricky. I had to remove a lot of what I said and try to keep it as listenable as possible. If you are going to do a podcast, or if you're going to do anything, audio is probably the worst part of everything. I don't know necessarily about editing as far as videos. I've done a little bit of it, but none of it is as bad as audio as far as I've seen yet. But we're not here to talk about all that, although we are, because I'm just going to talk about whatever we talk about, I guess. The meta seems pretty well balanced right now. I've enjoyed it. I've seen a little bit more Rogue and Druid than I would like. I'm sorry, not Rogue and Druid, Druid and Warrior than I would like to see. They're not good. They're not oppressive decks. Druid's still not fun to play against when you're almost there, and then they turn the corner on your turn 5, your 5 mana turn, their 13 mana turn, and then they get down their Titan and the Reno and whatever they're doing all in the same turn, and you're like, well, okay, I guess I'm done here. I've managed to stick in a lot of games and win them, but you still feel like you lose, right? When it's like, oh, I'm going to win on turn 5, and then you end up winning on turn 17, but it took however long it took. And it's just Druid doing Druid things, or Warrior doing Warrior things. And it's fine. But at least they're not good. They're not oppressive. The meta to me feels really fresh. It feels really diverse, and I'm enjoying it. The one thing I'm not enjoying, outside of seeing a lot of Druid and Warrior, is the Sonya Rogue. Again, not the best thing to do, but it's one of those decks where it's like, I'm playing a lot of Handbuff Paladin, Handbuff Excavate Paladin, and my turns, I have decisions to make, but the turns themselves don't typically have a lot to do. It's like 2 or 3 cards, whatever. And then when you have to sit there and just wait for Rogue to play Solitaire, where they play Sonya and Sonya and Sonya and whatever, and this, that, and the other, and it's like, I just zone out. I can't watch it. I sit there and I should be paying attention to how many times they've done what or whatnot, but I don't care. They just do the things, and if they're going to beat me, they're going to beat me. And if they're not, they're not. And I hate playing against decks like that. I don't love playing them either, but sometimes they're fun to play. I'm not saying that for the people that are playing them, it's not enjoyable for them. I get that there's a lot of fun making sure that you sequence everything right and all that, but when you use the entire turn to do things, and all you're doing is kind of setting things up for the next 3 turns or whatever, it's so boring to play against. And I wish there was a better way to satisfy the desire for people to play decks like that versus desire not to sit there and endure that while they do that. I will say, though, yesterday on stream, we played against one of those Sonya Rogues. And typically a lot of people just concede. I try not to. Unless I see that lethal is there, I don't concede. And this rogue took their time, and they did everything, and they had 3 Sonyas on board. because they cover artist one of them, and then I forget how they got the other one, but they played so much in a turn, and we just sat back and we waited, and they got their weapon to 30. They could have killed me, but they ran out of time to swing the weapon, and we had exactly till the next turn, and that was semi satisfying. However, I'd rather not play against the deck regardless. But if you're not playing right now, or if you're playing little and you're wondering how's the meta right now, I personally think that for the most part it's pretty good. It's you can play pretty much anything, even hunter. You can play shaman. You can play mage. They're not as good, but they're playable. I've seen some success with it, so just have fun. And there are good decks out there, but nothing is over oppressive. There's no one deck that is. I guess that's it. There's no one deck that is warping the meta, or there's no one card warping the meta. It's not Reno. It's not Marin. Although this week you will see a lot of Marin, and you'll be wondering, why am I seeing so much Marin? And that is because the weekly quest for the event, because now they have weekly quests to try to mix things up a little bit, is to play 15 treasures from Marin, and that is a lot. That is probably why I'm seeing so much Druid, and that makes sense. However, I didn't do that quest because I didn't feel like playing Marin that many times, and I have already gotten the 3rd tier reward with the cards, and then there's only one more award left, so I don't think you even need to bother with that. So I play a lot. So if you play a lot, then you don't have to worry about it. If you're trying to budget your time and you're only playing to get the event done, then yes, you might have to play those weekly quests. But for the most part, it's been pretty simple. And if you're still on the pirate one, once you complete the pirate one, we have to each player kill, I think, 64 pirates, then you will automatically get the quest. They kind of stack up like Battlegrounds quest does. So you'll be fine. But let's talk about the news. We got news that we have a new expansion. And so a new expansion has been announced, and it is called the Tourist. It's called Travel Agency. And so the new mini set has been announced, and it is called the Travel Agency. We've seen some cards already from it. It looks fun. There's going to be 2 new tourists. We get to see one of them so far. There's a new mechanic that they are releasing that's called Brochure, and this works. It seemingly works like a lot of the cards that we have seen before. It works like, if you remember the chords in Festival, where they would do different things depending on each turn. It would shift which side it was on. These are the same things. It's also like the Worgans that used to shift, if you remember that far way back. So the first one we got is Ungoro Brochure, which is draw 2 minions, give them +2/+2 for 4 mana. I mean, the rate is fine. This is fair. I don't think it's good. I don't think it's going to see play. You might feel okay if you draw it. But let's look on the flip side. And the flip side is Dalarian Brochure. And this is draw 2 spells. They cost 1 less. This is also 4 mana. Neither of these are good. These are not going to see play, I don't think. I mean, Druid maybe can work them in because, Druid has a bazillion mana, but these cards don't feel good to me. The rate on them is too fair. There's nothing good about them, so I don't think we're going to see these at all. I'm sure somebody might figure out a way to make them okay in some situation, but I don't think we are looking to play these at all. So the next card we have is kind of the I guess the marquee card. It's not good. It's a 9 mana 3/3. It's Travel Master Dungar. Battlecry. Summon 3 minions from your deck that are from different expansions. Now, core counts as an expansion, from what I understand. It looks for different, I think Ridiculous has said it looks for different watermarks. So it will summon just from 3 different expansions, 3 different cards. 9 mana 3/3 is not a good rate. This is not strong on turn 9. I mean, again, so if there's anything, this is a Druid card, and that's typically where these kind of things end up. If it's something that costs a lot of mana, has kind of a potentially broken effect, which, I mean, I guess the effect is fairly broken, and you can make it so that way if you only have 1 minion from each of these expansions or whatever, then you have a good chance to tutor what you want. But it still doesn't seem that good. It's so late in the game. And again, except if you're playing Druid. So I think, if anything, this might be a Druid card, but I don't think this is going to see play at all. I think they're going to hang out with the Druid legendary that gives you 2 random locations, and it's just not going to see play. The next card is the Return of Zephyrus, and Zephyrus is still a 3-mana 3/2, and this is Dream Planner Zephyrus. Battle Cry. Choose a travel tour to get potentially perfect cards from it. So, Zephyrus was a very, very, very complicated card. It still is. And it was basically a big if-then statement, right? So, if this, then this, then this, and it would try to find the right card. It didn't always give you the cards you were expecting. So, instead of saying perfect, they give you the potentially perfect cards. And that means that potentially it's not the perfect card. So they give themselves a lot of leeway here. And I think this card is still, I think this card is strong. I think this card will be fun. There's no Highlander requirement to it, so that's fine. The art's pretty cool. You got Zephyrus in like a business suit and holding money and having his tea. But the potentially perfect cards you get from it, or the tours you get from it, you can get the Hectic Tour, which is get 2 random minion cards. Get 2 random cards that can potentially deal damage to the enemy hero. So this could be 1 mana deal 2 damage, or this could be a Fireball, or this could be Pyroblast. Or I don't think it could be Pyroblast because it's not in the active pool, but it can be something like that. And I don't know if it counts something like the Volley card in Mage right now that does 10 damage to all enemies. If it says enemies and not enemy minions, maybe it counts. But again, I don't know what you'll get from this, but I mean, it's seems okay. Then you have the Extravagant Tour, which is get 2 random cards that can potentially spend a lot of mana. So this goes well in Druid again, but this is also if like you're in the late game and you have a lot of mana available and you're kind of out of cards, maybe you can find something big to do. The example that we got for the gameplay was this gave us Archbishop Benedictus. I'm sorry, not Archbishop. Antonidas. It gave us Antonidas. And that has the potential to spend a lot of mana because you can continually generate fireballs. So I don't know what other cards we're going to get from this. I'm sure we'll figure out the pool soon, but it's fun. And then we have the Modest Tour, for the middle class, which is get 2 random cards that can potentially impact the enemy's battlefield. So I don't know. Again, we don't know what this is. This could be Blizzard. This could be Flame Strike. It could be, I don't know, something that buffs your enemy board. It doesn't say that negatively impacts. It just says impacts the enemy battlefield. So just keep that in mind. It could be Monkey Paw, right? So I guess we'll see what that is. The next card we have is Alloy Advisor, and this is a 4-mana 2/6 warrior mech. Taunt. When this takes damage, gain 3 armor. Seems good. This is going to go right into an Odin warrior, I think. It's just solid rate. And if you get that down behind, and you're protecting the 1/3 that gives you 2 armor every time you gain armor, and you protect some things with this and also gain more armor. Seems like a solid card. I think this will be Odin warrior, and it probably just makes it into a lot of warrior decks. I think it's pretty solid. And then warrior now keep in mind, Odin's a thing. The next one is a 3-mana spell called Punch Card. Give your hero +3 attack and also damages adjacent minions this turn. So effectively cleave. So now when that warrior's got 16 attack off of Odin, it can now clear 3 things. Seems good. Depending on, I don't necessarily know if this card will see play, but if there's a lot of minions that need to be cleared for Odin to be successful, yes, this is a powerful tool. I think it's good. Next we have another warrior spell, which is 3-mana reserve spot. Give a random minion in your hand +4/+4. If there's only 1 there, reduces cost by 2. This is Blessing of Kings almost. Blessing of Kings you can play onto the a minion on the board, so you can actually swing with it and get that 4 damage right away. This is 1 mana less and can potentially reduce a card in your hand. Blessing of Kings didn't see a ton of play, not since vanilla, but this card seems like it's potentially solid. I don't see the deck that it goes in quite yet, but I think this is going to be one of those cards that if you generate, you're going to be pretty happy with. So I think it's a solid card. I don't think it's going to see a lot of play initially, but I think that you'll be happy if you find it off something. This is probably the best card just by name, and it's Imp Employee of the Month. Yes, Imp, like the other Imp puns. And you got an Imp that's sitting at a desk, and he's got his hands together like he's thinking about something evil. And he has got his coffee over there. It's a good little card. It's a 2-mana, 3/2 battle cry. Give a friendly minion lifesteal. I mean, this seems like a solid card to play when you have a board full of, I don't know, maybe giants and infernals and whatnot, and you want to gain health after losing all your health. This seems like and this isn't lifesteal to the end of turn. This is just give a friendly minion lifesteal. So I think this is going to find itself into Pain Lock and give it some more stability. Because a lot of times Pain Lock, those games are quick because you either win or lose because you get your health down so quickly. This card I think is going to see play. I think this is a solid card. It may not make it into every Warlock deck, but I think there's definitely a place for it. Now we have the Shaman. I think this is a Shaman. The Shaman brochure, and this is Ice Crown brochure. Deal 3 damage to a minion and freeze its neighbors. It flips each turn. And if I'm wrong about it being Shaman, I apologize, but I think it's the Shaman blue. And then the flip side is the Blackrock brochure, which is deal 3 damage to a minion and 1 to its neighbors. These are both 2-mana spells. Both options I think are much more solid than the other brochure, the Druid brochure. So I think this possibly will see play. It is to minions, and it will help clear the board, or maybe stop the board from attacking you for a turn. So I think it's pretty good. It doesn't have to be enemy minions either. So if for some reason you need to damage your own things or freeze your own things, I don't know why, but you can do that. So it's a fun little card. Now we have Turbulus. This is a 4-mana 3/4 elemental hunter tourist from Shaman. Now, as far as I understand it, you cannot play 2 Horus in the same deck. So if your wheels just started turning saying, oh, a Shaman tourist, then now I can play it with the other Shaman tourist. No. You can only use one Shaman, you can only use one tourist in a deck at a time, which is kind of sad. But the card is a battle cry. Give +1/+1 to all of the battle cry minions in your hand, deck, and battlefield. Excuse me for the yawn. This seems good. I don't know what we're doing with this, honestly, but I know there's a lot of hunter synergy with battle cries. So I'm looking forward to seeing what people develop out of this. All the whole hunter set basically was battle cry, right? And you get the location that's battle cry, and now Shaman has access to all that. Shaman particularly usually likes battle cries. So I think there's a lot of power here. I wonder if this is actually going to be played in Wild as well. With I think this is going to affect Wild more than is standard, but I could be wrong. Hopefully we get to see some of these hunter cards played because they have a fun, interesting set. It just kind of didn't have a direction, I guess. So maybe this is what they were planning all along. But so now we have a hunter tourist, and we'll see how that goes for Shaman. They also have a 2-mana 0/3 totem called Hydration Totem, and you should stay hydrated. Very important. At the end of your turn, give adjacent minions +1/+1. Seems solid. We're not playing totem decks right now. I don't know if this finds its way into some sort of an aggro deck or whatnot, or where this might fit in. I mean, this feels like it goes nicely in between 2 frogs after you play that spell, but I don't know. It seems okay. I don't think it's going to see any play right away. It might be something that's fine to generate again as normal, but now we have a few hunter cards. I believe Sidisi revealed these. I haven't seen his video yet, but good for him. He works hard. and is just a generally nice and fantastic guy. First, we have a 5 mana 3/7 beast called Cash Cow. On whenever this takes damage, gain a coin. Now, I'm glad Rogue does not turn us into Hunter because this would be gross. This seems like a solid card. Having extra coins is rarely a bad thing, and having a beast, I think there's potential for this card to find a home. I don't think it fits in any particular archetype right now, but maybe there's something out there. It just seems like just a solid card that it seems like a solid 29th or 30th card where it's just like, I don't know what else to throw in. Let's just throw in the Cash Cow. Then we also have Workhorse, which is a 3 mana 4/2 beast. Death Rattle, summon 2/1 ponies. Now, this horse is wearing a suit with a tie, has glasses on. He is maybe Mr. Ed's father. I don't know. Looks great. This card seems solid. 3 mana 4/2 is probably okay as a vanilla, but the Death Rattle summon 2/1 ponies is just sticky. We like sticky, and this is going to be a good card. Work ponies, 1 mana 2/1 beasts, and that's it for the set. So, excuse me, it's not it for the set. That's it for the set that we have so far. So next week we should be able to finish up the set. I believe it comes out on the 10th, so maybe when we have all the cards revealed, I will try to get an episode out early next week. We will see. I'm making no promises on that, but I will make the promise that if I can do it, I will do it because I want to do it. So you can follow me on Twitter and Twitch and TikTok and YouTube and anywhere else. If I'm not somewhere, if you're expecting me and I should be there, let me know. I want to tell you, this week on Bread and Butter, we get to talk to Pocky Plays about trinkets and battlegrounds and just the general state of battlegrounds. It was a fun episode. And then last week we had on Zeddy and World 8, and we talked about how to use the coin. And if you're like me and you're like, when should I use the coin? When should I use the coin? I think I'm better at it now, but you can always learn something. So I think that's a really good episode as well. But I think that's it for me, y'all. I think I'm done talking. Have a great day.